So you're gonna start. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah, I'll introduce it.
Okay.
You just titled it Travis Walton.
Abduction, and then we'll do like I'll talk what we're gonna talk about.
But just Travis Walton or alien abduction too?
Yeah.
Hi
everybody.
everyone.
Welcome. I saw that there's people in the chat. Hey guys, sorry we're a little bit late, but we're
Yeah.
here. So I'm just gonna say hi to everybody. Hi Wig.
Hi.
Hi Jeff. Miss Lakaya.
Hi.
Z Wiki. Let's see. Hi John. And J Chuck is in the house. Yes. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
So we're going to get into the Travis Walton alien abduction case. Hi, Cryfield. Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Thank you for
coming. And basically, it's going to be because, okay, guys, I was like doing the research and this is like insane, like detailed, and it's very like time consuming. So I tried to do basically what happened that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I if you guys have theories, if you guys have
anything you would want
info on it or anything you'd like to add, please do so. And then we can go over that as well. But yeah, without further ado.
So yes, we're here. Casual Conversation with GNA. Conversation 55. Travis Walton, alien abduction. And yeah, once again, thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Okay, so go ahead, Aileen.
So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Travis Walton was born February 10, 1957 in Arizona. He worked as a lumberjack in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. What happened to him, right? That's the big question. Well, in the morning of Wednesday, November 5th, 1975, 7 men working a regular day. Mike Rogers was the boss at age 28, the oldest man out of all 7. The men he was working with that day was Alan. Is that Dallas, right?
Or Davis, maybe?
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
John Goulet, Dwayne Smith, Kenneth Peterson, Steve Pierce. Some men were pilers and others cutters. In one instance, Alan cut a tree that almost fell on him. Travis had barely enough time to move.
So I kind of wanted to add to that because in the, I guess Travis talked about his relationship with Alan, that it was kind of, you know, a little bit turbulent, a little bit like, hey, you know, like, I don't know. But I guess like during the time of them working together, you know, they got into arguments, but they eventually like were able to work fine together. So I just wanted to mention that because that's what happened with this tree where he cut it and it almost hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alan and Travis were not on friendly terms, right? Like you mentioned. According to Travis, he would pick fights and he had a temper. They eventually came to work and to be on friendly terms, but Travis always believed he had held bad feelings for him. You know, that's how it be sometimes. You know, you just got to make the most of it with your coworkers, right?
Yeah. Hi, Marquita.
Hi. So, 6 p.m., the job ended. They loaded the truck. The men jumped in. Dwayne left the rear door open, John and Steve in the middle, and Alan by the right rear door. Travis sat by the door, shotgun, right?
So right in the front.
Yeah. Ken in the middle, Mike was driving. This was the usual sitting. So it was nothing new, nothing different, you know,
and
same old.
And Travis had said that the guys that were in the back, that were the smoking crew in the back and the non-smokers in the front. So, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah, they kind of want to lay back.
And you don't want the smoke like hitting you in the face.
Yeah. So expecting to be home by 7:30 during their ride, the men were enjoying the ride and making jokes and just then Travis sees a light coming through the trees to the right about 100 yards ahead. Initially, he thought it was the sunset. Then he remembered that it had gone down half an hour ago. Maybe the light of some hunters, or that might have been camping, the headlights of a fire. The men in the back were silent. So I guess they were kind of
everybody
like
noticed it.
speechless.
Yeah, because it wasn't just him. Like, I guess eventually he like saw it, and then the other guys were looking and they're like, oh, dude, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they finally got to the opening, Alan says, son of a blamp.
Son of a blank.
Yeah, blank. What the heck
heck
is going on? What the heck is that, right? So Travis sees the glimmering from the trees. It was yellow and about 40 yards. Mike asked, what do you see, Dwayne? Dwayne answered, I don't know, but it looks like a crashed plane hanging from the tree. John yelled, stop the truck. As the truck skidded, Travis opened the door for a clearer view. My God, Alan yelled. It's a flying saucer.
That's crazy.
So, they kind of all were confused, right? Like, hey, what is this?
I mean, that's the last thing. The last thing on your mind is, oh, this is a flying saucer.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, hey, this might, of course, like maybe like, I don't know.
I feel like you would
like
have
a fire, like a forest fire.
Yeah, like you kind of go through all the options before you reach that one, right? Like that's kind of like a last resort. Like, hey, we can't figure out what this is. It's a flying saucer.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
Hi, Julie. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. So Mike shut off the engine and watched it. It looked like a strange golden disc hovering silently. The men were transfixed for a long moment. It struck fear and awe. So that's interesting, huh? Like you're just kind of scared. But
I would be like, I think I would be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you were to see a flying saucer that close, I mean, the first thing you think about is like, oh snap, like they're gonna take me, or because that's what like Alien and Abduction like go hand in hand.
I mean, now knowing like UFOs, right? What they look like and all that. But can you imagine like not even knowing what that was, right? You're just like, I feel like it would keep you speechless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fear and awe. The metal craft hung motionless 15 feet above the tangled pile of logging slash. Is that
yeah, so the logs basically.
It was stationary. Its edges were clearly defined. The golden machine was starkly outlined against the deepening blue of the sky. So it was very like visible, right? You were able to see it.
Yeah, especially because they were that close. They were able to see the shape of it and what it looked like and the lights it was emitting. So
and just
that's pretty interesting.
I mean, you couldn't miss it.
And this is crazy because it's 7 dudes. Like it's not just like one dude.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, like, and they're all seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's like, something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And of course it was like very visible because like the blue sky, and then you get like the contrast of like this golden metallic
object that's hovering.
Yeah, interesting. So Travis estimated the object to be 15 to 20 feet in diameter, 8 to 10 feet thick. The disc had a shape like a 2 giant pie pans placed lip to lip, with a small round bowl upside down on the top, darker strips of dull silver sheen that divided the glowing areas into panel-like sections. Yeah, you know what? I think about it. Like that really does seem like a pie.
Like a flying saucer.
Yeah.
That's like your typical, like,
Yeah. So yeah, we discussed that. The dim yellowness light given off by the surface had the luster of not metal, fresh from a blast furnace.
Hot metal.
Oh, hot metal. Wow.
So I guess it had lights that made it look like it was like hot.
Okay.
Maybe, what I was thinking? I was thinking maybe like my oven when I turn, because I have one of those old ovens that has like the heating wires.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm like picturing it.
Yeah. And so I was like thinking, oh, maybe it looks like my oven, like the wiring, the metal heats up and it like
Yeah, or
looks
like
red,
whenever you see like the blacksmiths in the movies when they're like
hitting the metal, like
yeah,
making
and then
swords.
yeah, they're making swords and you can see like the fire and it glows, right? It's the same
Yeah.
thing, like it glows. Wow, interesting. I mean, I like how it's visual, it's
Yeah.
very descriptive.
Yeah.
No hatches could be seen, no motion or sound. Travis got out of the truck to get a better look. The men yelled, "What are you doing?" He walked closer. He walks into the dim circular halo of light, softly reflecting onto the ground under the craft. 6 feet from being directly under the machine, he could hear a low sound from the ship. Low to high pitched mechanical sounds, intermittent, high piercing beeping points overlaid on the distant low rumbling sound of heavy machinery. The sound was incomparable to anything he had ever heard.
Okay, guys. So when I watched the Missing 411 Hunted,
Uh-huh.
remember when that man was taken? I think it was Hunted,
I
right?
think that's a robot.
Oh,
is
yeah.
it?
Gotta remove that. Okay, so I think it was the Hunted, one of those where one of the men was taken. It was the older man
Mm-hmm.
that he was sitting on a rock while everybody herded the deer towards him, so he
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
so they were hunting. It was kind of crazy because that reminded me of a guy saying that right before he went missing, he heard a mechanical kind of sound, like a big. He said it sounded like a big door, metal door
Yeah.
moving, like opening
like
or closing,
shutting,
whatever.
right?
But Travis said that it was very quiet, very. The only time he was able to hear any noise from it was when he walked under
Yeah.
the ship and he heard very faint sounds,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then to think that it's something you haven't heard before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Travis
Was
was
startled.
startled by the powerful thunderous swell in the volume of the vibrations from the craft. Wow, so it was vibrating as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a multitude of turbine generators starting up. He sees the saucer wobbling with a quickening motion. He ducked down to crouch when a tremendously bright blue green ray shot from the bottom of the craft. All he felt was a numbing force of a blow that felt like a high voltage electrocution, and it made a sharp cracking or popping sound. He felt paralyzed and unconscious. That's interesting.
So it beamed him.
Yeah.
So, but I think he said that it almost felt like lightning hitting him.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess he thought that's what it felt like when you see it happening. I mean, because I don't know if he's gotten hit by lightning before, but
yeah. Wow, man. That's interesting. We can get into that later, right? Like, should we do the rest of the story for now?
What is that later? What?
Like what he had said in an interview about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the men in the truck saw Travis, his body arched backwards and his arms and legs outstretched as the force of the blow lifted him off the ground 10 feet.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, I mean, what he was feeling, I guess he couldn't see what was happening, but the guys did, and that's what they said happened.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's scary, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The right shoulder hitting a rock. The men in fear yelled to leave as they left. While driving away, they were in fear that the craft was following them. Mike was driving erratically. He finally slowed down. They struggled with deciding what to do. Mike then stated that he saw Travis falling back. The blue ray shot out of the bottom of the thing and hit him all over, then continued to talk about what happened. Then someone said to go back. Mike decided to go back, and he stated he saw the disc flying off. Told the men, if you can't If you don't want to go, get out and wait. Then the men decided to go back with Mike.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of wanted to talk about that too, because in the movie,
Mhm.
it kind of like it's a little bit different because the men actually like get out and then um, they just basically like he drives towards, you
Yeah.
know, the incident. But in the book, because I think this is part of the book,
Yeah.
I found the website, the Travis
Yeah, his
Walton
official
website,
website.
and that's where we got the information. So in case anybody wants to go and see, check it out. You guys can go. Hi, DJ Moore.
Hi.
Yes, yes. It's it you know it, and it's possible because DJ Moore here was talking about the missing 411,
Mhm.
and it's possible that it could be the scenario that's happening, right? Like
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
it kind of sounds
yeah, like
similar.
that's definitely something possible that there could be aliens that are, you know, abducting or portals. I mean, I don't know. We don't know what kind of technology they have, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you for joining
Um
and the comment.
so as they approached the scene, they got out of the truck and looked around and called out for Travis. They found nothing including to evidence.
Yeah, so no evidence, nothing that had happened. So, um,
So Mike began to feel worried and struggled to control his emotions. Guilt came over him. Finally, they left. I mean, it makes sense. Like they were trying to figure out what should we do. We just saw him get electrocuted. What
and
seems like
yeah, initially I
electrocution.
think the guys thought that he was dead because,
Yeah,
you know, he got shot up in the air and then he fell. Um,
but I feel like naturally their like fight or flight response kicked in, and they decided to like flight. They're like, let's get out of here. They got scared. They were probably worried that it was going to happen to them as well.
yeah.
And then at the same time, they were young guys, right? They were in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course they're going to be scared. I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't?
Because I think that Mike was the oldest and he was like 28 at the time.
But
So,
I mean, you would still be scared,
yeah.
right? Like, what is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
So they left, right? And then finally they gathered themselves and then
they discussed it, right?
Yeah, they decided to go back. So they all went back and they were all kind of looking around trying to find Travis and you know where the incident happened. And they had one flashlight, so only like Mike was the one with the flashlight.
Yeah.
And so they were all looking around, but they kind of didn't want to like split up because they were scared, you know. And I would be like, dude, yeah, I would be scared too. Like, what if something grabs you?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the person on the back.
Yeah. You're just gonna rope each other right together.
Hi, chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. The reaction. I feel like it's a very natural reaction.
Yeah.
And then like we mentioned, they struggled with deciding what to do. Hey, do we go back? Do we leave? Right?
Yeah. And it's crazy because you know, Mike, he felt guilty because they left.
Yeah. But at the same time, they didn't want to risk being abducted as well. I mean, or whatever it was. I mean, they were scared. They didn't want to get electrocuted. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. J Chuck said, yeah, Silver Heels needs to come in, but the aliens can take him anytime.
There was another comment up top. Where was it? Was it higher up? I don't remember. Yeah. Oh yeah, right there. The
Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely check that out. Facts on how to hunt. I'm gonna check that out. DJ Moore. All right, so let's get into the actual abduction. Yeah. Do you want to read it or you want me to do it?
You can go ahead.
She can't read my writing, you guys. I write too
that's
fast.
What's going on. I can read. It's just her writing.
Okay. So Travis woke up feeling burned. He felt a metallic taste in his mouth and felt weak and thirsty. When he opened his eyes, there was a light fixture above him, which was the shape of a rectangle. And the ceiling, I guess he kind of described the ceiling that it looked kind of metallic, but kind of like a weird shape.
But didn't he feel like he was almost in a hospital, right?
He thought initially when
Yeah.
that he was in a hospital, but then he saw the light fixture and then he saw like the ceiling that looked weird. And so he thought, oh, maybe I'm having vertigo. Maybe it's just the fact that
Mhm.
I'm dizzy from
Yeah.
whatever happened. I guess he didn't remember at the time. And so he closed his eyes and he opened them again. And then he saw that it was weird. Like the ceiling was still
Yeah.
weird. So then, he's like, okay, where am I?
Mhm.
And then he remembered what happened and wondered where he was. The air was heavy and it smelled like kind of muggy and
Mhm.
stale. So that's kind of like, oh, he's in space.
Yeah.
Heavy, heavy
It was
air.
heavy.
Yeah. And it was hot and humid. 4 to 5 inch strange. He had like a 4 to 5 inch device on his chest that was kind of like on he said I don't know if it was his whole chest, but it went down to his like belt line and then it
Wow.
like wrapped around his ribs. So I don't know. He said that was weird. It looked
Yeah.
plastic. That it extended to his armpits. So yeah, it was all his like abdomen, like all his like torso area. And so it was shiny and dark with gray and it looked like metal plastic. And then he noticed the shapes of people wearing orange surgical gowns, but he could not make the faces. So basically, he thought, oh, I'm in the hospital and these people are treating me like they're doctors or nurses.
Yeah. Did you want to pull that up? Or
Yeah, love it. Yeah, look that up. Let's see.
that was actually what I wanted to bring up too. How like he did say that he
Mm,
did think that they took him to heal him because of what had happened, right? With that
yeah.
whole electrocution.
And I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys, because I was watching the Joe Rogan experience before this, where he interviewed Travis, and he was saying that he didn't have the feeling. Well, now that he's thought about it,
Yeah.
that he felt like they were trying to help him. Like
Yeah.
he didn't feel like they were trying to hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to talk about too, that he did feel that way, like he
Yeah.
was being helped.
All right. So when his eyes cleared, he saw the faces of a horrible creature. It looked back at him with luminous brown eyes, the size of quarters. He saw 3 of them. Travis struck at 2 of them, and he was able to like hit one, I guess, on the side of his arm. And the creature felt soft. I mean, through the clothing, because he was wearing clothing.
Yeah.
But he said it kind of felt soft and he was pretty skinny and felt spongy, which is weird.
That's weird.
And he said
Imagine.
that it felt like it was like just fat, like no, I guess no, I don't know if it had bones,
That's
like
weird.
maybe like a, I don't know,
Like, I don't know,
like a plushie or like
like
a,
one of those toys.
yeah, that's so crazy. Okay,
That's weird,
let me
huh?
look at the comments real quick. No, I think I'm good, J Chuck. Yeah. So okay. So he I guess he wasn't feeling good. He felt lightheaded and he wasn't feeling like 100%, you know.
Mhm.
So he lunged up to his feet and he kind of staggered a little bit, but he put his back against the wall. Kind of, that's something you do trying to like make sure nothing's
Yeah.
behind you. And he kept his eyes on the entities, but the entities just stayed there. So I guess it kind of knew or felt that he was scared. So they were
Mhm.
like, okay, let's just like not do any sudden
Let's
moves.
just, like, stay still.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so the device on his chest fell off of him to the floor and it didn't have any tubes or wires. And he said all he saw was like green lights from it. So I guess those green
Wow.
lights, I don't know, maybe it was a healing thing, you know?
Mhm,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. Travis was too weak to hold himself up and felt and he fell down. Then the creatures walked toward him, and he reached and grabbed something to defend himself. So he was kind of like trying to grab something, and he said he ended up grabbing like a little cylinder that was very light, and he tried to break it because I guess he was like, dude, it has to be sharp so I can hurt them, like that's what
Yeah.
you think, like I know they're gonna hurt me, so I got to do something. And so he said he kept trying to break it, but it wouldn't bend or break. So I don't know, maybe it was like, but it was very light, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
The creatures continued towards him, and he said that when he saw them, they were under 5 feet, and they had their 2 arms, 2 legs, and 5 fingers in each hand, and their head was kind of like their face. I guess they had like human arrangements, like ears, small ears. He said they had, the skin was kind of marshmallowy, and they were wearing this kind of velvet suit, like a suede suit, kind of like that covered like everything. And I guess they were like orange in color, like orange brown. They had no hair, and their skin was kind of like an ivory chalk color. Like, I don't know, that's crazy.
They were light.
They had a large head and big like craniums with a small jaw and thin lips, but their mouths never opened. He never saw their mouths opening. And really small ears and small noses with like 2 little nostrils. And their eyes were twice the size of human eyes. So that's pretty creepy.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
I guess he said that they were kind of like the what is it called in
The
your eye?
pupil?
The pupil,
Or like
yeah,
the
was
iris?
the iris was dilated, but he said they kind of almost look like cat eyes.
Wow.
Pretty weird, right?
That's like that's scary, man. Like eyes that are really big.
Yeah. And so the creatures then left the area. As he stayed alone, he looked for something better to defend himself with, and he thought about getting out of there. Dude, I would do the same. I would be like, okay, they left. Now it's time for me to figure out how to get out of there. So basically, like, he got up and then he was trying to like walk around, the room, and then he got to a corridor, which was where the little creatures had gone. So they left that same way. And he goes, so as he's walking through the corridor, he says, he looks at a room. There's a room. I don't know if it was to the right or the left, but there was like a door, but he didn't look through there. He just kept walking. But then he realized, oh, maybe that's a way out. So he came back and then he walks in there. And so in the room, yeah, they're so weird. In the room, he goes in there and he sees a single chair. At first, he thinks maybe there's somebody sitting there, right? Maybe there's just like, I can't see him because they're small. So he kind of was cautious and he was walking around. So, but he ends up finding that there's nobody there. So the weird thing about this, okay, so he said that the closer he got to the chair, the room would darken.
Wow.
So it kind of would look like space. So you get close to the chair and then you're able to like see space like all over you. And then, pretty cool. And then he said that, hold on, let me flip my page. Then he said that the chair had a lever on the left arm and an oddly shaped handle on the right, with an illuminated green screen with black lines. I guess they kind of look like little, like, I don't know, like a grid. And it said that he said it had 25 colored buttons, about 25, and that they looked like it had symbols or words on it. So he then thought maybe one of these buttons is going to open a door so I can leave.
Yeah.
So he started pushing them. And he said that nothing would happen. He would push the buttons, nothing happened. And so he sat on the chair and he started like messing with the stuff, right? And then so I think I got ahead of myself.
Well, he was really experiencing it, huh?
For real. Yeah. So basically, like, he got on it and he was trying to like mess with the stuff, and then something happened with like something, like, I don't know. There was something when he sat on the chair that appeared, and he was when he would mess with the levers, it would kind of like move around. So maybe he thought, oh, this is how you like
maneuver.
Yeah, how you maneuver the craft. So pretty crazy, right? It sounds like
Yeah.
it reminds me of the Marvel. What is it?
Which
With
one?
the Marvel, but the ones that are always in space. I can't even think about
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. So after a little bit, trip out, okay, you guys. I was like, what? Um, he sees like a noise, right? And then he turns around and he sees like a human standing on the doorway. And he said it was a
Wow.
huge guy. Let me get to that point. He said he was about 6 feet and very muscular, about 200 pounds, with a tight blue suit, and that he had like a helmet, like a clear helmet. And then Travis saw him and he's like, "Oh, dude, like
Another
help
person.
me." Yeah, he was like, "Help me. They took me." But he was silent and he wouldn't make a noise. The man then took Travis to he escorted him out. He took him to another room where he said that doors opened and it looked like it was like an outside area. Maybe they're like little lounge patio area. And they had like other crafts there. And he said that they continued through that, I guess, place, and they got to another room, and then he saw two other humans, or three. Yeah, three other humans there. So it was two other men and one woman, and he said that it almost looked like they were like related, like maybe they must have been like like family. I mean, possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think an alien they would be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" That's probably why they went and got him, because he was messing with the stuff.
I'm like, they let him drive it.
So basically what happened was he met those people, right? Those human people, and then he was trying to talk to them, but nobody would answer. And he said that they approached him, and the woman had like a little mask that she put over his mouth, I guess, his head. And he passed out. So, like that was that for the abduction case.
Yeah, they kind of sound like doctors, right? Like they're like, all right, yeah, we fixed him. Right.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good to go.
Or maybe it could have been the aliens that kind of like, I don't know, somehow made themselves look like humans.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty so crazy. That he wouldn't be so scared.
Okay. Do you want to talk about how he was picked up, or you want me to do it?
If you want.
Okay. So he woke up. Okay, so after he was sedated, right? After he was sedated by the people, then he woke up in Harbor, Arizona, lying on his stomach. And his head was on his forearm, so I guess he was kind of like that, like on the floor. And then he said that there was a light emitting from the top, so he kind of turned around and he saw the ship leaving. So basically they kind of did a little drop off, And he said that it looked like it was like 40 feet in diameter, so maybe it was like a bigger ship. I mean, I don't know. And then he said that it was wider than the road, like the street. So I guess that's why he thought.
That's a funny comment. Yeah, they're like, okay, let's get him out of here.
He's becoming trouble.
Yeah.
And so it just basically said that he saw the ship flying up, and then it just disappeared. But it was like a very like quick maneuver, like, whoosh, it's gone. Travis got up and he ran and tried to find help, because I guess he ended up finding like a little home, like a development, or like a place where he thought somebody can help him. So he knocked, nobody answered. So he ended up running to the other way. I guess he ran one way and then he ran the other way. And then he ended up finding a telephone booth where he called his sister. And with this call, I guess he had been missing. So they his family thought, oh, maybe this is a prank.
Yeah.
They didn't believe it at first. But they're like, okay, let's go. Maybe it is him. So they ended up going, and his brother-in-law was the one that answered, and then he I guess drove to pick up Travis's brother, and then they drove to this, I guess it was like a store, like a little station, gas station, I don't know, something where the telephone booth was. And he said his brother, it took him 30 miles to get there. And then when his brother got out and he opened like the telephone booth, and he was in there. And so his brother helped him up, and they were happy to see him, and they informed him that he had been missing for 5 days.
Wow.
So,
and I was thinking about that. Was the time lapse different? Because I mean, it seems like he did all that thing in like a short amount of time, maybe.
Which is possible,
right?
because he was saying in the Joe Rogan interview that, because Joe Rogan asked him, hey, did you need to use the restroom? Like, 'cause you were there for 5 days.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? No, like I don't remember, but maybe it was, that's a good point. Maybe it was that time was different.
I mean, it sounds like he was there for like maybe like 2-3 hours tops, and it was actually 5 days out here.
Exactly. So that's pretty interesting. So that's what I have for the actual like experience that he had. I know that there was people that thought that maybe like the guys that he was with maybe did something to him, and they were trying to cover it up. Possible,
I mean, it sounds like, the aliens were there, and, like he got some type of like electromagnetic shock or something. And they're like, oh man, why does this guy have to be under here? Now we have to bring him in. Let's fix him up. Because they felt bad.
Why'd you get in the way? Why'd you get in the way?
way?
But okay, so if we think about a logical explanation, what do you think happened? Do you have your own theory of what happened? Ooh.
Wow.
I would like to know more about that.
Yeah,
chaos.
that is interesting. I feel like that's always been an interesting thing to like ponder on, right?
Yes. And I'm going to add the stream on the comments if anybody wants to join and maybe give us your thoughts on what you think.
Yeah, like what's going on. Do you want me to get into like the skeptics?
Yes. So Eileen's going to get into the skeptics.
Yeah, like with everything in life, there's skeptics, right? So a lot of skeptics believe that this was a hoax. So some of the things that they were saying was that days after the UFO claim, the National Enquirer awarded Walton and his coworkers $5,000 for the best UFO case of the year. So, they believe that they just did it for financial gain, right? Like they just wanted money. And they also say that, like all his coworkers did take polygraph tests, but they considered them to be poorly administered. So they didn't really know how valid they were. But they also claim that there was like, he used polygraph countermeasures such as holding his breath. And also that in a prior test, he had failed it, and the examiner concluded that the case was gross deception, that it involved gross deception. So yeah, they just also they felt that just alien abduction reports became more popular after stories of extraterrestrials appeared in films and on TV. So they felt like that just kind of like people were like, oh, let's say that happened or something.
Yeah, kind of like an idea for them to kind of say that this happened and get some fame.
Yeah, get become a instant celebrity, right? So they believe that he was most likely influenced by the NBC TV movie The UFO Incident, which aired 2 weeks before his abduction. which dramatized the alien abduction of Barney and Billy Hill, which was a 1961 abduction case. So,
That's crazy.
and that was like, it aired 2 weeks before he came out with his story. So, they think that, like, maybe it was like all done for fame and things like that.
Anything is possible. It could be real. Okay, it could be that they made it up. Hi, Nightmare. Welcome.
Hi.
So I posted a link in the chat if anybody wants to join and kind of give us their opinion. You're more than welcome. But yeah,
Like,
I think
with everything, it's like 50-50, right? Like,
yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It kind of like trips me out because so all 7 of them were like,
yeah, that's the thing, like, all these people saw the same thing. You know, I don't know.
So, Hickory guy, I don't think the aliens were there with the purpose of taking him. I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He should have stayed in the truck.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were saying.
Yeah,
He just
I
got
think
in the way.
that.
They were kind of like, experimenting, doing their own thing.
Yeah,
And he kind of,
they're like, what is this guy doing here? And then they're like, oh, well, now we got to fix him.
I think hysterical reaction could have affected his memory, but it happened. Yeah. So yeah, see, definitely possible. And so, and one other thing, like I kind of was wanting to talk about too was, okay, logically, like maybe what if they were all like hanging out after work, decided to like do a little something, something, and then he just, I don't know, it like they thought that maybe he took a little bit too much,
Yeah.
I mean, and so, but then again, why would they like all like claim they saw the same thing? Their stories have always been the same. I don't know.
And then like if they did it for money, like, was it worth it?
For 5 Gs, no.
Yeah,
I would be like, no, 5,000 is not enough.
Maybe that was a lot at the time, right? In the 70s.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Any thoughts?
Have you thought about the theory of aliens being fallen angels? Like demons? I mean, I don't know. Because okay, so that beam, right? That we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What if like that's what they use to like do like the cattle mutilations and like mutilate other animals,
The comment.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of hard to say for certain if it did happen or it didn't, but if it did, well, I'm glad he came back, man. Like,
yeah, and then I feel like, I don't know, if it was all a lie,
that's messed
like,
up.
You wouldn't think he would have been like, you don't think he would have said that like now, like, hey, it was actually
No,
all a lie.
because he's like he's been talking for years now that he wants to make a recreation of a movie. So he wants to do like another movie with more of the reality of what happened, because Hollywood dramatizes stuff, and so he was saying that it was not as he thought it was. Like the movie wasn't as, I guess, realistic as the situation or something. So, but I don't know. But yeah, them being fallen angels, like the aliens, I mean, it's possible, right? Like I feel like anything is possible.
Yeah. I mean, but it seemed like they help him out though, right? Like it seemed like they help him recover.
Oh, I'm gonna add Roach Tales. Hi.
Thank you for joining.
Going?
Hi, good. Oh, let me make this a little bit better. There you go.
I actually just finished a live stream going over the Shock documentary.
Oh, tell us more about that.
You guys didn't watch it?
No, we haven't watched it.
Oh, it's on the Discovery Plus. So it just came out today. They did the
Oh.
Travis Walton story, and then they did Betty and Barney. So
And what is it called?
it's called where is it? Alien Abduction, Travis Walton, and it's basically his new updated story.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they got a whole series on the Discovery Plus app. But
Okay,
so I just did a live stream of reviewing it, and then I was like searching to see if my video was popping up, and then I found you guys, and I was like,
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
yeah. So
Well,
we
thanks
just
for coming on.
we do a little drinking and smoking, and we just talk about alien abductions at my spot.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you think about it? What did you think about the documentary?
Well, I had prior knowledge before I watched it, and then so
Mhm.
I try to like take that away and get like a fresh take on what the was, and I thought I liked it better because I came to a different assumption from prior knowledge. I thought there was humans on the ship. Did you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then this new one, when you guys watch it, they said they're actually a different alien species called a Nordic alien on the documentary. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's like a 7 foot tall, looks like
Wow.
Thor. And then it makes you
Mhm.
think like, are those myths actually aliens? And you're getting get me down a whole rabbit hole. And then
You know what? Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous, shout out to you. He talks about that, movies portraying like
Yeah.
reality. So that's
Mhm.
you
oh,
know, if
definitely.
that's a trip, like that's crazy. I was
Yeah.
like, that's totally possible. It could, and that's what something that Travis said as well, that it could be other type of, another type of alien.
Right.
I mean, I think anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And either way you look at it, if it's two different species of an alien on the same craft, that means that they are friendly with some other species out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that leads me to believe that less of a negative effect with coming in contact with them possibility, because they already made allies with something else.
Yes.
So that's the way I look at it. And then if it is humans, well, the positive of that is, well, I look at that like as an ambassadorship, scientific ambassadors going to learn technology, medical treatments, and stuff like that. So either way, seeing that alien that looks like a human is a really positive thing for me.
Yeah.
Just
And I mean, and even if it was human, like let's say it was humans, do you think they
Mhm.
would be humans from now or maybe like
Oh.
future?
Wow.
Maybe, time traveling beings?
I think that depends on how the universe works, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so is it just replicas of like if you ever seen the show The Flash, how they got like Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, and each one you are different, a little bit different on each Earth. There's theories of that. I
Mhm.
think that's what Interstellar was, is he went out to space, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then when he came back, he was actually in a different dimension, but he was back in time and he could just move at different points.
I know, that was so cool. I love that movie.
Yeah, such a good movie.
Yeah. And imagine if like he could learn how to manipulate that to his advantage. Like he just,
Yeah.
because in the movie he just gets there and he's like, okay, I can get this book to move, right?
Mhm.
But imagine he's there for a lifetime now, and he can actually do what you guys are saying. It could be an alien from a different time.
Yeah. That's
But
crazy.
see,
DJ Moore said here, I seen that Nordic thought too. They are supposed to be a little more hostile.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I heard the short. So he saw the short grays, but the tall grays are the ones I heard that are like the bad ones.
The meaner ones?
Yeah.
That's mean.
Because if you the other one to watch is the Alaskan aliens. All this I watch everything off the Discovery, and it there's this lady on there. She says for 30 years she's been waking up with her, like in an autopsy, like how they open up a chest for an autopsy, and she wakes up with aliens over her whole insides, and they're replacing crystals, like taking an implanted crystal out and replacing it with a new version.
What?
And then she wakes up on the floor in her room, her shirt's ripped open, but she has no scar, no scratches, nothing on her chest. And she says it's been happening for 30 years. And they go
That's
out there.
crazy.
Yeah. But
Let's see. So, because there's somebody here that thinks maybe it was like a hoax. What do you think about that? It being a hoax?
it could. Well, so I'm all open to like this. Like, if you could find something that says like this ain't for real, I'm all for it. Because my first video on my channel was me showing a light in my backyard that I thought was a UFO. And then just so happens, like months later, because that happened this January, I find out it was actually a boater on the St. Johns River behind my house. He was looking up in the
Oh.
trees with his spotlight with his grandson, and he saw my video and called me. He's like, "Hey man, that was me." But so my encounter I thought I had was not real, but it made me go down
Mhm,
this rabbit hole. So could it be a hoax? Yeah. In that new documentary though, they actually take soil samples from the site. They go back there, and in those soil samples, they find a lot of iron, and they link that to other areas where they say UFOs have almost touched down, where they pulled a lot of iron and ferrous metals out of the ground. And the thinking is whatever propulsion system they have is actually magnetically forcing ferrous metals to come to the surface. Um, and that's why they were getting those readings, because they weren't getting them anywhere else. And then all the
mhm,
trees, you probably heard this one, all the trees around it, the
mhm.
area, the growth rings were all pointing towards the center of the area. So,
Wow.
and that has only ever been seen in a place like Chernobyl or Japan, where nuclear
Yeah, like high
activities happen.
radiation.
Yeah, and it causes growth.
That's
So,
Wow.
crazy.
so that
Christina.
this one's really hard to debunk. There is a dude, Jeff Class, who tried to debunk him for years. He
Mhm.
offered the guy Steve that was on the job. I think Dallas was his last name. I might have it mixed up. It was either Dallas or Steve. He offered one of them $10,000 to say that Travis faked it, and he
Oh,
wouldn't do it.
wow.
Wow. Yeah, because I mean, they took the polygraph tests and they all, maintained their stories.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So, which goes to show that maybe, like it's real. And, that's a possibility. I feel like it could be a possibility. It could not. It could be,
Mhm.
something they made
Hmm.
up. But I mean, his details, his story, everything to me, I mean, personally, I think that it did happen. And he doesn't seem like the type of guy like just looking at the videos, like his interviews, he doesn't seem like
Hmm.
he's, like he seems legit to me. Kind of like the Bob Lazar, like Bob Lazar
Yeah.
as well.
The
Oh
dog's
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Jasper. Um, Bob Lazar. Yeah, he used to work on the propulsion systems on UFOs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was just on Joe Rogan, I think, like
Yeah,
2 3
yeah,
months
I
ago,
saw that interview, which was
and so
pretty
was
good.
Travis.
Yeah, I saw that one as well,
Yeah.
and that's what we were talking about earlier, that about time,
Yeah.
because do you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, like, we were just thinking that maybe the time might be different since, when he got back, it had been 5 days, but when he was on that ship, it seemed like hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a difference in
Well,
time.
there's some people that believe that in order to travel the universe, they have to be able to traverse through different dimensions, like time travel, right? Because the time it would take you to actually travel the distance from a universe to universe, they would be dead, right? So they have to either go through black holes or have some sort of a way to jump that time and space to get to their spots. So yeah, I can see that
Yeah.
being a thing.
And so, I mean, I think that he could have definitely been it could have definitely been a time difference there,
Mhm.
and that he was gone, but I don't know, I would and I definitely wanna watch that documentary that you were
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
because the movie, like we said, like, in the movie, they kind of over dramatize things and, I was like, "Hmm, I don't know
Yeah.
if that really happened." You can't be certain on what's real and what happened and
So
didn't happen.
I can say I know in the movie, in the movie when looks like he has all that plastic over him.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that wasn't there in his story at
Yeah,
all.
and see,
In his
that's
story, he actually had a box on his chest
Mhm.
that actually slid off, and then he actually grabbed a pipe and tried to attack him. And then the little the grays, the little ones ran away, and then I think you probably heard that one on the Rogan when he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
his encounter. But yeah, I think his story is believable and it hasn't changed. And there's been people trying to debunk it for years, and they can't. It's the most well documented story besides Betty and Barney, but their story is what I know about it. I've been trying to avoid it to do a fresh review, but their, to me, from the trailer, is more. They had a more scared effect than Travis did. Like they felt in danger during their experience. So I mean, that's why I really want to watch theirs tonight, and then Monday hopefully get a video out on it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's cool.
but
Jeff, you can post. I mean, if you're able to post the link, that's fine.
what's
Yeah,
it?
because he was saying something about them getting a check for but you talked about that, right?
Yeah, that they had
For what?
the National Enquirer had awarded them $5,000 for the best UFO case of the year.
Well, I would take it if they offered it to me. So,
And so I think that people, because of that, some people
just
think
because
that
of the National Enquirer.
yeah, that they
Yeah.
did it for money and that it was just like a contest type of story.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the theories or one of the
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, a
yeah.
lot of people at the time thought it was a hoax. It ain't been until recent when people are more opening to new things that people are more accepting of that kind of thing. So I can see where they were like, they just assumed it was a hoax, the National Enquirer. I mean, look at the stuff you
Mhm.
find in there. Most of it is trash. And by trash, I mean like fiction and not reality news. But sometimes there is things in there that have been proven to be true, that have shown up in the National Enquirer.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know like how if he's getting money, then that's his thing. If he lied to everybody, then that's on
Yeah.
his conscience.
And even if he did make it up, it doesn't change my belief that there is something out there, you know? So um, that wouldn't change that at all. I would just not believe his story if it
Yeah,
was
and
debunked.
especially with the disclosure. I mean, some of it, the
Yeah.
UFO report that came out where they gave some information. I mean, they were trying to kind of say, "Oh, that's not really what is happening." There's a scientific um answer for these sites for
Mhm.
people seeing these things, but they also said that they found stuff that is unidentified. So that kind of brings
Mhm.
it up to light as well that every more stuff is coming out now.
Yeah. I yeah. Do you guys think that Hollywood is like preparing everybody?
I mean, possibly.
Yeah, I think so. It's a possibility.
I mean, do you feel like if they were to come out and just say, "Hey, yeah, there is, you know, aliens and different kinds and they've been coming and they live amongst you," do you think it would like make hysteria, like people would be
Like super shocked.
It depends on. I think it depends on which species of aliens they do it with first. If they did it more with like that Nordic type that looks like a human,
Mhm.
and they can say like, "Wow, these people are every one of them's like 7 feet tall, a lot stronger than us." Supposedly they have telekinesis according to Wikipedia. Um, so that would be easier to sell to the general public, and then you can bring in the little gray guys or the tall gray guys or.
Like the
But
little friendly ones.
yeah, it's funny though how the names, and this is just me just like looking at it. They call the Nordic ones. They look like Swedish. They're white with blonde hair, and then they call the grays. They describe them by the color of them, and not by. They don't give a name. They're just like the gray aliens, and then they got the Nordic aliens. But so I
Mhm.
today on my channel, right before I closed out, I was like, what can I call them? I was like, they deserve a cool name.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
they like.
Thor,
I just
like
don't want to
where
call
does
it
he
the
live?
gray alien.
Where does he live?
Who, Thor?
Um yeah,
Ragnarok, right?
Ragnarok. There you go. So your channel is at Roach it's Roach Tales?
Yes, we do. I go live every day at 7, except for weekends.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
So
do more
maybe
than
we should send people.
just this. I do like Sasquatch, ghosts, true crime. Sometimes true crime will turn into a ghost later on.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
so
Yeah, we don't I don't know. I just feel some type of way about like crimes. So I'm like,
well,
I prefer the ghosts.
so I like the ones that are like Amityville Horror, for example. That was a crime that
Yeah.
turned into uh, the haunting or a demon or whatever you want to call it. So I'm the only thing I try to stress when I start my video. I like to concentrate first on the victims and then I go into the ghost story because I always feel bad if you leaving victims'
Yeah.
names out because you feel
Yeah.
like you're taking advantage of them, you know. So
Let's see. There's a question here. Are the black-eyed kids really grays in disguise?
ooh, I haven't seen a like they look like normal kids with black eyes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
I never
They're
heard of it.
scary. I guess the black-eyed kids, if you have an encounter, and you let them in, because they usually will ask for permission. If you let them
Mhm.
in, then something can happen to you. I mean, people have said that they've gotten sick or, you know, maybe
Yeah.
got hurt. So,
I mean,
um,
yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know nothing about it to give an opinion though.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they are grays. Like that's creepy. If they are, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If they're trying disguising themselves as kids, that's
Yeah.
crazy. It shouldn't faze anyone. If they are real, we all have been alive with them, so why get all scared now? And I think maybe people that are, I want to say, aware of alien life, I think that those people would be okay with it,
Hmm.
maybe. But then the people that kind of like skeptical or don't believe, maybe those are the people that would be,
In more shock.
yeah, and there would be the ones going to the grocery stores and like taking everything. I mean, I would too. I'll be
Right.
like, all right, if you guys are taking everything, I'm going too. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, I think there could be hysteria. And I think because some people that believe in it might get scared that they're doing that. So, like it could just
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
snowball.
Mm-hmm.
I will
I put
see.
in the private chat. I put a link for you guys if you wanted to post my last video for them.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I
My
will
It's,
videos
see.
go a little long though. I go sometimes. Oh, and sometimes I have a karaoke night. I'll just like end my video randomly and just go straight into karaoke.
that's cool.
So,
Yeah.
or until my wife
That's
gets
cool.
home.
Jeff, if you want to email me, you can send me that on Facebook, Casual Conversation with GNA. Yeah, because I don't think I can make anybody moderators because I don't have that many,
I think
like
he
that
should be
many
able just to
subscribers,
send
I
you a
guess.
DM on Instagram if you guys have an Instagram where you
No,
can
we
post.
don't have an Instagram
Oh,
yet. We just have Facebook, a Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to get on that too. I agree. Ghosts over serial killers. Yeah,
yeah,
it's scary.
yeah.
Do
The
you guys
Conjuring.
have an email?
That's creepy. The Conjuring ghost.
No, I don't watch those.
Yeah.
See, I can listen to scary content, I can do like stories and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But when it comes to movies, like anything demonic in it, I don't watch. Like that,
Right.
it just freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It gets.
those so she says my name sounds weird. So when I was in the military and I was like brand new, like right out of high school, you have to like shadow people and you basically they nicknamed me Roach because I had to be in the back just like following shadowing everybody and
Oh.
they couldn't get rid of me. So they just called me like a cockroach because they couldn't get me to go away.
Oh,
Oh.
So then for the rest of my career until I retired was they'd call me Roach. Everybody would.
wow.
So yeah. So that's why
That's
it's called Roach Tales. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh.
I was kind of thinking more like The Witcher. Remember his? I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever watched it. How his horse was named Roach.
He does, doesn't it? I never thought
Yeah,
about that.
I know.
Some people think it's because I smoke on the channel, and I was like, and I'm
That
like,
makes sense.
I do, but that's not why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for your
thank you for your
service
service.
Oh, thank you.
from everybody. So yeah, and so do you, because we have, the Travis Walton, but how do you feel about um I'm drawing a blank. Bob Lazar. How do you feel about his story?
Oh, I think his is credible.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it shows you how complicit our government is in covering it up. You know what I mean? And how far they'll go, and but the good thing is if we do have these crafts, but he says that, I think he said they dug them up, right? That's how they got them.
Yes. That's what I was
So
going to get to.
so
That's crazy. It
right.
was like,
And
go ahead.
so if they dug them up, then that goes in like, well, how deep were they? What, like, for the age, like how, like if you're
Hmm.
digging up like a fossil, how deep was it?
How long have they been buried?
Right. And then
Yeah.
does that line up with any of either the Mayans, the Egyptians, or any of them? Because a lot of people think that ancient aliens helped them. So
Yeah.
especially like even India, the country India, a lot of their religion has a lot of flying machines with people in it. So
Wow.
that were said to be gods. But what if
That's
they were
crazy.
spacecrafts?
And
They
see,
said, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that's another thing that we want to kind of we wanted to talk about in another video. We're planning on making one about the pyramids, and because that's even weird, just within that, it's weird.
So you need to read this then. This is the book. It was written in German. And this is the book that inspired the TV show Ancient Aliens.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it all came out of this. This was written in the 70s. So Chariot of the Gods.
That one's pretty interesting. If they dug them up, who gave them the map? Yeah, very interesting.
Right.
They know what's going on, I think. And it's the same thing with the missing 411. I feel like they kind of know what's going on. But,
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, my dad thinks that, I think he's trying to make fun of me, but he says he thinks that the UFOs are dropping like Bigfoot and vampires and all these things around. And then after they scare the crap out of people, the UFOs pick them up, take them away. So we're looking for them, can't find them, but it's just aliens messing with us and just dropping other aliens off.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's weird. I was like, I can't get on board with that one.
Yeah, I it's just crazy. Like, and then people, it's not like he's been the only one. There's been other people that have had experiences, like you talked about earlier. That woman that she gets those little crystal things in her body, and so I feel like for many people to be seeing or having the same scenario happening to them, it gets you to think, what if there is something going on?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, I posted his link up. I don't know if I posted it on our chat here, or your chat.
Yeah. If you just type in Roach Tales on YouTube, you can find it. And then if you want to send me that video, you can go to my Instagram or Twitter, or I got Rumble as a backup. I don't know if y'all know that you can automatically send your videos to Rumble as a backup.
Oh.
They go there the next day. And that way, if YouTube, a lot of people who talk conspiracies and aliens, their channels get shut down. So it's like my backup spot. So if they ever shut it down, I got up my stuff over there. But we did chupacabras.
Oh, you did? We haven't done one on that, but the chupacabras. I don't know, man. I think he came over to our house one time.
Yeah.
And then go check out the what was it called? They did the chupacabras, and then I'm drawing a blank now.
Oh, Yeah, Jeff, I think that we can't, because basically what they're saying is that you have to be a moderator to be able to
Oh,
post a link on here.
well, just go to my channel and click on one of them and send me the link on Twitter or something. Just tweet me it.
Yeah, because I think he wants to send it by email, but we don't have an email yet that I'll try to get one up, Jeff, and I'll let you know. I have Rumble, YouTube, TrueTube, Odyssey, and YouTube is politically correct. Okay. Yeah, I don't have no backup. So if my channel gets taken down,
Yeah.
then
It's just
it.
Roach. It's
Yeah.
just Rumble has less restrictions on what you can say and do. So it's
So
like a
is
good
it like a YouTube?
So what happened is last year with the election stuff, when
Uh-huh.
all the Republicans got like booted off of YouTube, a lot of them went to Rumble. So it became known as this right wing thing.
Oh,
But
okay.
now it's kind of calmed down from that. And now you can find comedians over there, news reporters over there,
Mm-hmm.
but they remarket your videos. So they can like sell your video on your behalf to like Sony, and then they would pay them, and then they would pay you. So you can actually make you make more per view off of Rumble than you do off of YouTube. But
Oh,
but they
okay.
have less people, less members than YouTube does. So,
Yeah.
but it's just a backup for me.
Okay, because he's saying I just gave you instructions on how to find the link. Okay, I'll look at it, but I don't
I
know
see
how
it.
to yeah, because I still don't know how to share my screen and
Yeah.
share videos. So I'm still trying to get I'm gonna have to figure that out.
But all right. Well, I'll let you guys go on
Well,
with your
thank
show.
you. We appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime.
Okay, I'll subscribe and yeah, check out
Thank
your other
you.
videos.
We will
Thank
too.
you.
We
All right,
appreciate
have a
it.
good one. Bye.
All right, you guys. Let's see. All the satellite technology seems the skies are covered. I don't see how UFO would not be identified. Yes, Nightmare, I am and on StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that I've been trying to kind of I tried to share before, but it said that it's better if I had another screen.
Yeah, like two
Like
monitors,
two
right?
monitors,
Another
yeah.
monitor.
And
Yeah.
then I don't know how to download the videos so to share them.
Yeah, we're like pretty new at this.
So we're going to try to kind of get more familiar with that, and that way we can share more stuff. Yeah, but that was cool. I'm glad that he came on. If anybody else wants to come on, you're more than welcome. Before we close it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add the link here. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, you're more than welcome to join.
There was, let me see if I could find that comment.
Yeah, and I know that some of the people are over at Sean Graham's show. So Chasing the Truth with Sean Graham, he also has a cool one today, something about Count Dracula. Like a guest that has I guess, like a bloodline from them.
So when I was a kid, every week there was a cattle mutilation story on the news. I am about 4 hours from Skinwalker Ranch.
Wow. DJ Moore, let me know so you can come in here and talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
We can interview you.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
So ET are spiritual, not angelic. And there was also, these guys were the type that worked from sun up to sundown. I myself would doubt they saw a TV show and decided to make up a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But yeah, Mr. Travis,
all the...
do you think What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about this one. Okay, so DJ Moore was able to find it. Okay, so yeah, DJ Moore, I think Jeff had mentioned that you were going to go out to do a Kenny search. So yeah, we'd like to know about that too.
Yeah.
Let us know. Maybe we can talk about that too when you come back. We'll interview. You can come on our show and we can talk about both. Can you girls make an email account for your channel and post it in About tab? Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. It's been crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do an email. So okay, Jeff, I'm gonna put that in my notes so I don't forget, okay? I need another thingy.
Here, you can go ahead and write it here.
Okay, so do an email and then I don't know if I should do an Instagram too. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate that.
you.
Yeah, so if you ever do want to come on, let me know. We would love to have you. And then because of course we did cover the Kenny Beach case. And if you're gonna be going up there, then
And then
we can do
the
like an
cattle
update.
mutilation stories. That sounds interesting. We did
Yeah.
do one on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, we did one on Skinwalker Ranch, and we also did talk about we had a little incident with our animals getting mutilated as well. And we talked about that in one of our other videos, which was pretty crazy and scary. So that's the one that we thought maybe was the Skinwalker. I mean, the Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll check on that, but either way, I'll get an email and post it up. But yeah, so I think that's all we have on Mr. Travis Walton. If you guys have
Yeah.
any thoughts or any I guess theories on your own on what you think happened, if you agree with it, if you don't agree with it, leave us a comment. We'd love to
Yeah.
hear it. And yeah, we appreciate everybody that was here and interacted and your comments and questions. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
And hopefully we'll see you next week. And I'll try to post up again earlier in the week. That way you guys know what we're going to be talking about. And we usually do Fridays.
Yeah, usually Fridays.
Yeah, we usually do Fridays, and we try to do it before Sean Graham gets on. So, but sometimes it goes a little bit, longer. But we appreciate everybody that made it, and we'll see you.
Thank you for being there early. That was exciting, right?
Yeah, it was exciting, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nightmare and Sean and DJ Moore, Christina. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and everybody else that was here earlier. We appreciate everybody. Okay. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.